House, Book Number 9, Dragon of the Red Dell, by Mary Pope Osborne. Chapter 6, The Banana Tree. "This is your castle?" said Jack. Baxter smiled. "In my heart, my humble cottage is grander than all the castles of the Samuel," he explained. "And my banana tree is more beautiful to me than all the beauty of the Imperial Garden." Jack and Annie stared at the large plant with the long, droppy leaves. "I like this tree so much that I haven't taken my name from it," said Basho. Basho means banana tree. "Cool," said Annie. She looked around. "It's nice here." "Not really," said Jack. The banana tree looked scrawny and sad to him. "Please come inside," said Basho. He slipped off his sandals and left them outside. He picked up a bundle of wood and ducked through the low door that led to his house. Jack and Annie took off their shoes too and followed Basho into the small, shadowy room. Basho opened his shutters to let in the evening air. "Please sit," he said. "Thank you," said Jack and Annie. Jack looked around the room for chairs, but there weren't any. The only furniture was a low wooden table and a bamboo chest. 3 straw mats covered with the floor. Jack and Annie sat down on one of the mats. Basho lit a small oil lamp. Then he made a fire in his fireplace. "I will prepare tea for us," he said. "Rest while I draw water from the river." He picked up one of his 2 wooden buckets near the door and headed outside. When Basho was gone, Jack and Annie looked at each other. "I guess this is a 3-mat house," said Annie. Jack nodded. "I think a famous teacher of Samuel will have a 100-mat house, or at least a 15-mat house," he said. "I like this house, though," said Annie. "It's cozy." "I wonder who Basho is exactly," said Jack. "If he's famous, maybe he's in our book," said Annie. "Look him up." "Good idea," said Jack. He pulled a search book out of his bed. By the light of the crackling fire, he lit up Basho and Annie. "He is here." Jack turned to the right page and read aloud. "Basho is one of Japan's greatest poets. He wrote short, beautiful poems that speak to people as clearly as today as they did during the Edo period of Japan." "Basho's a great poet," said Annie. "That explains everything." "Sort of," said Jack. "It explains why we have to recite poems during Samuel, but it doesn't explain why Basho lives in such a dinky house." Basho opened the door and came in with his bucket. Jack closed the book and slipped it back into his bed. Basho poured river water into an iron pot over the fire. He pulled 3 tiny bowls and a small cloth bag from the bamboo chest. He took the bowls, and he waited patiently for the water to boil. Jack and Annie waited patiently to listen to the soft rushing sounds of the river outside. Jack started to feel peaceful for the 3rd time already. When the water was hot, Basho poured some into each of the tea bowls. Then he handed the warm bowls to Annie and Jack. "Thank you," said Annie. "Thank you," said Jack. "You are welcome," said Basho. Jack carefully took a sip from the steaming bowl. The green tea tasted bitter, but he didn't mind it. Interesting taste," said Annie. "Basho, Jack was wondering if you were a famous poet. Why do you live in such a dinky house?" "Annie," said Jack, embarrassed. "Just kidding. I wasn't really wondering that." Basho laughed. "Long ago, I trained to be a samurai," he said, "but I was not happy. What I wanted to do was write poetry. A poet does not need to live in a castle. A poet needs to live with the wind and the clouds, the flowers and the birds. Here I have a small garden and my banana tree. I have to stand in the river all day long. Here I have everything I need to write my poems." "What do you write about?" asked Annie. "Small things," said Basho. "A crow picking snails out of the mud, a woodpecker hammering a tree, pine needles scattered by the wind. A poem finds beauty in all the small things of nature." "And teach poetry to the samurai?" asked Jack. "Yes, the samurai greatly honor the art of the poetry," said Basho. "Poetry helps focus the mind." The Samuel believed a truly brave warrior should be able to compose a poem even in the middle of an earthquake or of facing an enemy on the battlefield. Can you say one of your poems for us? Asked Annie. Let me think, said Bastion. Well, I was working on a new poem yesterday. He reached for a water box under the table. He took a small piece of delicate paper from the box and read aloud. An old pond. A frog jumps in. The sound of water. Basher looked up at Jack and Annie. Said Jack. Nice beginning. It is not just the beginning, said Basher. It is the whole poem. A small moment in time. I think it's great, said Annie. I love frogs. Your poem makes me love them even more. Would you read it again, please? Jack said. He felt like he must have missed something. Basher read again. An old pond. The frog jumps in. The sound of water. Jack nodded thoughtfully. Good, he said. That's really good. And he meant it. The poem made him feel as he himself had been right there by that poem, hearing the frog splash into the water, break into silence. If you like it, you may have it, said Basher. He handed the paper to Jack. Thanks, said Jack. He put the poem into his bag. A bell rang softly in the distance. Ah, the temple bells, said Basher. He stood up. It is time to rest. I'll take a nap and sleep outside. I enjoy sleeping under the stars. And now, because of the poem you recited today, Annie, I shall think of them as diamonds in the sky. Annie smiled. You can stay inside and cover yourselves with these mosquito nets, said Basher. He pulled out some nets from the bamboo chest and handed them to Jack and Annie. Do you know what? In my small house, there are only small mosquitoes, not like giant ones in those in the Imperial Palace. Jack and Annie laughed at Basher's joke. He gave a net to each of them, and he picked up the net on the floor and put it outside. The fire in the fireplace had died down. The lamp from the oil lamp had already nearly gone out, too. Jack and Annie lay on the straw mat and covered themselves with the mosquito nets. A cricket chirped on the hearth. Jack noticed a patch of flat on the floor. He realized moonlight was coming through the open window. Jack reached up from under the net and put his hand on the square of the pale moonlight. You could hear the rustling of the banana plant in the breeze. Half asleep, he imagined himself swaying with his long broad leaves. The dinky hut is much nicer than the castle, added Mama. I feel like a tiny cricket is going to sleep. Yeah, I feel like I'm holding moonlight in my hand, said Jack, and I'm like a banana leaf dancing in the wind. Sounds like a poem, said Annie. Yeah, maybe I should write it down, said Jack. Instead, he fell fast asleep.